Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm talking about round 7, the preview of another 9-game weekend coming up. It's the Anzac weekend, so there's a few big matchups ahead, but quickly we'll have a look back at some of the big scores from round 6, and there were some big ones, starting off at the top there with Zach Merritt going gold against the Gold Coast Suns in that very close loss in the end. Over 200 points scored in that game, and yeah, Zach Merritt had an absolutely huge second half, 151 for him against Gold Coast, of all people. Bailey Smith and Jeremy Cameron there having huge days out. I think Jezza kicked 10 in the end, and Bailey Smith doing what he does best, 140s for them. Harry Sheasel, again, good matchup against Richmond, doing what he does best. Deserving of that number one forward status, 136 for him. Ed Richards in a day out that was a bit strange for the Dogs against the Cats. And Bont had a very strange day out. And it seemed like it all went to Ed Richards in the end. He got 133 for last week. Brody Grundy having an absolute stellar year, especially the last couple of weeks. I think he's got 130 twice in a row. And he had a big day against Nick Madden at GWS, 130 for him. Same with Callum Wilkie, who is also out of nowhere, I feel, well, maybe not out of nowhere, but has really taken that extra step this year and has been huge. And another big week on the weekend, 130 against Adelaide. Nick Dacos, of course, having a big day out against Carlton in that another historic loss for the Blues. Nick Dacos was all over them with 128. A couple of Port boys there against my guys, the Hawks. It was a weird match, and it was almost a big win for Port Adelaide, but Hawks just got away with that one. And Horn Francis and Butters were tearing us up for a bit there, though. They got 126 and 125 for the day. Jack Ross, very out of nowhere one for Richmond against North Melbourne, was just getting busy in the middle. Plenty of CBAs. I think he had 30 plus disposals in the end. And was just leading from the front for Richmond on the weekend in another sour loss, though. 123 though for Jack Ross. And then Nick Blakey and James Peatling round out my biggest names for the weekend. Nick Blakey getting plenty of kick-ins against GWS, leading from the back. And James Peatling in maybe the Jordan Dawson absence, unfortunately, but he was a shining light against the St Kilda Saints on the weekend. And another massive week for a couple of these guys. James Peatling making the most of it. Some of my favourite players here, guys. We had Harry Perryman having a big week against Carlton in the end. A few guys matched up well against Carlton. And Perryman getting plenty of it down back and a little bit of midfield time, I think, in the end. 114. Plenty of junk in that second half for the Pies. Cameron Zerha was down back for North Melbourne. We had a very interesting role change. And we'll see if he keeps it up with a few changes coming back this week. Zerha, though, in the back half as a forward, always a juicy option to get off the waiver wire. I think he was number 1 this week. Patrick Lipinski having a day out for, one out of every dozen games. He goes a ton, I feel. And he was one to really take it on against the Blues on last Thursday night. 110 for him. Lawson Humphreys getting back to his best. Always thought he was going to have another good year this year, and he showed it against the Bulldogs on the weekend. 107 for him. Murphy Reid, another star, another young gun, putting his foot down against West Coast. A good matchup. 106 for Murphy Reid. Rowan Marshall and Darcy Wilmot there. Sorry, before Rowan Marshall. Darcy Wilmot was really getting amongst it in that very close loss against the Demons. Don't think many people expected the Lions to get beaten in the end, but it was a close win by the Demons, and Darcy Wilmot was getting plenty of it down back. Rowan Marshall, as I was waiting to explode about just then, finally he's come back and had a good game for the year, got that forward status, and against Adelaide, ended up turning up for the first time this year. I think that's brought his average back up into the 60s. So it's still a big fall from grace, but a good silver lining there for Rowan Marshall. He's getting back into some kind of form. Same can be said about Bailey Dale. First ton up for the year for him, I think. And in that absolute shellacking by Geelong. He was getting plenty of kick-ins, and yeah, finally turning up for Bailey Dale. Ed Langdon, another shining light for the Demons. He's come into his own. Good guy on the wing and extra good forward in recent weeks, I feel. Just getting high up for the marks, kicking straight. Yeah, another solid day out for Ed Langdon. Zach Williams, Carlton. I guess you'd say shining light. I don't know. He was the guy getting on the end of it at the struggling times for Carlton, I think, in that second half in particular. Kicked 3 goals, which was pretty good, I think. But yeah, was getting a bit on the wing and yeah, was really the go-to guy kicking inside 50 as well, I felt, for the Blues if they got any against Collingwood. Ended up tunning up as well, 103. Harris Andrews, another big day out for Brisbane defenders. Rare ton up for him, but he was sorely needed against the onslaught. There was the Demons on the weekend, and it just wasn't enough. And Brisbane went down in the end. But Harris Andrews turning up with 102. Jai Amos kicked 5 against West Coast. So there you go, just a good matchup. Forwards against West Coast, obviously gonna go all right. And Jai Amos coming out and showing us why he was a high draft pick a few years ago. Kicked a bag against West Coast. Luke McDonald getting a bit of experience in there for North against Richmond. Another good matchup there. Richmond, few names on this list against Richmond, a few North guys. And yeah, Luke McDonald winding the clock back, getting a bit of junk in the back half. Another clock getting wound back here. Tex Walker kicking a few against St Kilda in that very tight win. And I think he got the game-winning goal as well to ton up and get the win for Adelaide. So another rare ton there for Tex Walker, the 36-year-old. I think he's my age. Paul Curtis, that was a good story from the weekend. I think he kicked 6 in the end. And I've been waiting to see Paul Curtis really step it up. And I know he won't kick 6 every week, especially since it was against Richmond. Good matchup. But yeah, 99 for him. Same with a couple of young guns here. Phoenix Gothard and Harvey Langford stepping it up. Finally, good to see Harvey Langford getting amongst it. I think he kicked a couple, but was getting in the middle and was getting a little bit forward, getting a little bit back, was just kind of where they needed him against Brisbane. And yeah, 99 in the end. Big second half. And Phoenix Gothard, only a couple of games in, but I think he kicked a few as well. So Giants stepping up when needed because there's a few Giants missing from that lineup at the moment. Good to see Phoenix Gothard getting busy. Another high draft pick from a few years ago. Probably one picked off the waiver wire this week, I'd imagine, with that forward status. So looking ahead at the matchups, tonight we have a pretty good one, I think. Western Bulldogs against Sydney. Western Bulldogs at home. And a little bit of a change up there. Obviously, Tim English is still out. I think Tom Liberatore is out with concussion. Bonds lining up. Heaney, surprise out for that one. So interesting to see who's stepping up in the midfield for the Swans. It's been McInerney this year. Rowbottom's been tackling. A few others there. I'd love to see Angus Sheldrick come and maybe get close to the ton this week would be nice. Sam Darcy also missing for the Dogs for the rest of the year. So just a lot of outs for that game. And so it'll be interesting to see a few of the rookies step up and see how Bont goes this week because he had a very poor day out. Got tagged out of it last week. Don't know if Sydney could do that this week. He might be looking to bounce back though, for sure. Or maybe someone like Riley Sanders stepping up. Friday night, you got Richmond versus Melbourne at the G. And Melbourne has been very hit or very miss. They had that bad loss a few weeks ago against the Bombers, but then came out and beat Brisbane last week by a point, and they got a few wins to start the year. So you got to say your money's obviously on the Demons. With Richmond being Richmond, hasn't won a game just yet, and no Taranto for the Tigers either. So. We saw Kane McAuliffe finally step up last week. Very happy with that. And I'm hoping someone else or a few other Tigers can lift the load a bit this week because, a few outs for them. Could be seeing Jaden Short taking a lot of kick-ins on the weekend. And maybe we'll see someone like Luke Traynor back. Would like to see Traynor, high draft pick, back in the squad for the Tigers. Sam Cumming as well, coming in for his first game. So that'll be interesting. Demons, Jack Steele, Max Gawn, lock and load. Max Gawn in particular against the second string ruck for the Tigers, Samson Ryan. So he went all right last week, but against Gawn, I mean, come on, it's Gawn. Yeah, I know he was a bit off against Brisbane last week, Gawn, but Tigers matchup should have a big day out. With the Sydney Dogs matchup. I think Brodie Grundy's going to have a huge day out tonight against the Dogs' second and third string ruckman. So a couple of rucks to start off, going to go big. On Saturday, 4 games there, starting off with Hawks versus Suns in Tasmania, I believe. So traditionally, Tassie, not the best scoring ground. It's pretty windy. It's pretty unpredictable, I feel. And yeah, it should be a good game, I think. But fantasy-wise, not sure what to make of that one. Interesting to see Noah Anderson hopefully coming back for the Suns in there with Rowell, Petrarca and Touk. Finally, we'll see that engine in overdrive, I'd like to think. So it'll be a pretty interesting matchup for the Hawks midfield. Newcomb, Ward, Nash. A few others in there. Yeah, McDonald, maybe McKenzie. Getting busy. I think the Suns have the experience in the midfield, but Hawks' cohesion has been pretty good, syncing up well. Just not the most fantasy relevant game, that one, I don't think. We'll see. Hopefully Newcomb can do all right. Essendon Bombers versus the Pies in, the Anzac Day match that's not on a Monday. It's on the 25th. And, it's going to be a big one at the G. Bombers going all right the last couple of weeks. And the Collingwood Magpies getting it done last week against the Blues. So both coming off decent games. And, Bombers may be in a bit of form now. We'll see. Hopefully that'll be a decent matchup. Could see some angry Pies fans or nervous Pies fans on the weekend. Darcy Parish has been all right. Caldwell came back into some form. A few shake-ups for the Bombers, and they've seen them kick on all right the last couple of weeks. Obviously expecting Nick Dacos to come out fit and firing. Expecting close to 35 disposal game from him again. We'll see how Josh Dacos goes. Would like to see Josh pick it up. He's been a bit off the last couple of weeks. And maybe the Collingwood ruckman as well. Oscar Steen, not a bad shout. He's taking a little bit off Darcy Cameron, even though Darcy Cameron's still the main guy. But Oscar Steen, if you're looking for a backup ruck this week, might have a decent day out against Lockie Blackiston at the Bombers. So, he's been one of the easiest matchups, I feel, for the year. Could be a good day out for Collingwood ruckman. Port Adelaide versus Geelong. Saturday evening. Port Adelaide had a huge, close loss on the weekend to the Hawks. And we saw Butters and Horn Francis really getting busy. But we also have Geelong, also on a tear at the moment with Bailey Smith, Max Holmes, even Tom Atkins getting busy in the middle. So a couple of big heavyweights in the middle there going at it at Adelaide Oval. Interesting ruck match up there as well with Jordan Sweet, I think, will have the rocks over Mitch Edwards in the ruck. And hopefully we'll see. I think Geelong's probably going to get it done, but Port Adelaide have been a little bit more formidable the last couple of weeks since their rocky start. It's been all Jeremy Cameron, 10 goals last week. He's in some hot form, so expecting the Cats to get it done at Adelaide. Fremantle against the Blues at Optus Stadium. I think we're all expecting the Blues to have a rough night again, unfortunately. But it's going to get studied at the end of this. Once Carlton are out of this weird funk, how they keep just letting it go and choking in the second half in the last few weeks is remarkable. But I don't think it's going to be like that on the weekend. I think Fremantle is just going to come out firing. Luke Jackson's been in some amazing form. Couple that with Brayshaw, Sarong, Hayden Young was back hitting all right on the weekend. I think Fremantle's just in some sweet form, and Jai Amos as well. Josh Treacy, a couple of big forwards for Carlton to deal with. What do you say about Carlton? The defenders have been okay. Midfielders have been hit or miss to start the year. And I don't know what's going on there. Maybe George Hewitt or Ollie Lord coming back in, Someone needs to step up for Carlton because, yeah, same old is not getting it done. Paddy Cripps, Chera, even Jagger Smith struggling to get involved early for the Blues. And yeah, they just don't know where any of their forwards have been to start the year, especially in those second halves. Just go missing. Moving on to Sunday, though, and it's an interesting one to start off. St Kilda should be running riot at Marvel Stadium against West Coast. Yeah, a couple of big names there. I'm expecting to have huge games in Nazaya Wanganeen and Jack Sinclair. Expecting big games from some defenders leading from the back, getting amongst it. West Coast has been all right. Did see Tom McCarthy get a ton for the Eagles last week. 27 or 28 disposals for him. So expecting, yeah, he's been the main man in the middle, helping all these young guns get amongst it, like Harley Reid, Willem Dersma, probably elevating their game a little bit with that experience in the midfield. Tom McCarthy, reckon could be a good shout for the weekend. Same with Millen Murdoch, actually. Thank God he's back. He's been an absolute shining light for the Eagles. And yeah, happy to watch him on the weekend. I think definitely some good names coming through at the Eagles, ready to, yeah, show us what they got and give us a good watch on the weekend at least. But yeah, St Kilda expecting after close loss last week, very hurt, painful loss for Saints fans, I think. And I think they are going to come out absolutely firing this week. Callum Wilkie's been in amazing form. Interesting. Rowan Marshall had a good week last week, as we mentioned. So Yin Yang, Tom De Koning, don't know who's going to go big each week. It's a real raffle there for the ruck rotation. And then, yes, maybe Jack McRae had a good week in the VFL. See if he comes back. Windhager can have a good game. Could be a lot of Saints getting busy against West Coast, is all I'll say. So if you're going to expect someone to go well, I'm expecting half the Saints to get above 75 against West Coast at Marvel Stadium on Sunday, for sure. Brisbane versus Adelaide Sunday afternoon should be a pretty good game, actually. Couple of close, one was a close loss, one was a close win last week. And both teams are in a little weird period. I think the Crows have been playing all right, but Brisbane at home is always tough as well. So interesting one there. The ruck matchup should be an interesting one. McAndrew versus Draper, or maybe Fort will be coming back. And yeah, Brisbane midfielders, Neil, McCluggage, Dunkley, Ashcroft brothers. I don't know if Jordan Dawson's going to be coming back to face them. So we're going to see James Peatling in the middle as well with like Sam Berry. Don't think Saligo's there at the moment. It'll be Rankin and Rochelle. Yeah, having to step up away from home. So I think I think they're going to have the number on the weekend. I just think it's due. They were played all right last week, but yeah, just missed something in the back half, or yeah, just couldn't get it done on the weekend in the contested work either. So would like to see Josh Dunkley step up, work a bit more defensively, get some more tackles on the board would be nice. But yeah, I think Brisbane at home should get it done, but that is possibly going to be the match of the week, I reckon. And to finish it off, Giants versus North Melbourne at, I think it's Manuka Oval. So Giants home oval. I think just Tristan Cherry's coming back. So that's good news for North Melbourne. And yeah, a couple of big names out. Thinking Finn Callahan should have a big week out. Remember last time against North Melbourne had 35 plus disposals. 120 I think he scored. So he loves a good matchup against North Melbourne. But obviously also, Tristan Cherry, as I mentioned, and Harry Sheasel coming in. They've just been racking it up the last couple of weeks. And North Melbourne, in some kind of form, you got to say they're in some kind of form. Don't know if it's like premiership form, but they're in some kind of form. And I think the Giants at the bottom of the ladder or close to it. Gonna be an interesting one to finish off the week as well. Lockie Whitfield, Lockie Ash getting busy in the back half for the Giants. And yeah, an interesting midfield rotation there. Oliver, Callahan. We'll see if Cornelio comes back. Hopefully Harry Ralston can have a good week. Toby Green, obviously getting the experience in there as well. So interesting matchups to finish off. And yeah, a few captains on that Sunday could be very, very interesting, especially in St Kilda versus West Coast for sure. And as I was saying, guys, a couple of captain options here to help us out. A couple of big scores incoming for these guys. On the Thursday night, Brodie Grundy against the Dogs. Second string ruck, third string ruck for the Dogs. Brodie Grundy's been hitting 130s the last couple of weeks. Lock it in. He is going to have a huge game tonight against the Dogs. Max Gawn again, 2 rucks in a row on the Friday night. Max Gawn against the second string Richmond ruck, Samson Ryan. Should be a big day out for Gawny, expecting him just to at least get 120, I'm thinking, against the Tigers ruckman. Nick Dacos and Archie Roberts in the Anzac Day one on the Saturday afternoon. Archie Roberts has been in for just amazing form. Even last week getting up to 117 after a few big scores before that. So he's really the main distributor for the Essendon Bombers and really taking that Nick Martin role head on his shoulders this year. And yeah, can't go past Nick Dacos against Essendon. Think he's just going to be racking it up. Going to be a 35 disposal game for him incoming on the weekend. Bailey Smith, obviously, just been absolutely amazing to start the year. Lucky to get a score under 110 with him. Just been huge. Against Butters and Horn Francis, though, at Adelaide Oval. Could be interesting, but again, Cats have just been in some unreal form. Expecting Bailey Smith to go big again. Luke Jackson, been pretty amazing against all of his opponents so far, especially since Sean Darcy's gone down. I think he's got Mark Pitnet. He's against Mark Pitnet on the weekend. And that could be another matchup that, suits him at home. His mobility's been amazing. He's just a big midfielder, gets forward, but also can jump just as high as any other ruck in the comp and get 30 or 40 hitouts. So lock in Luke Jackson. He's been a freak to start the year. 3 rucks in my captains for the week. On Sunday, I'm expecting a big week from St Kilda. So I got Jack Sinclair and Naz Wanganeen Miller going big against West Coast. I don't think you could argue against that. I think St Kilda's just going to have a big week against West Coast Eagles. Harry Sheasel, say no more. He's been amazing again to start the year. 130 plus last week. Against the Giants could be interesting, but I think he's going to get plenty of it. Be needed as always. And as I mentioned before, a little bit of a specky one. He hasn't had the best average for the year, but Finn Callahan had a big week last year against North Melbourne. I think just to finish off the week, I think Finn Callahan is my pick of the Giants for the week ahead. I reckon he could get another 30 to 35 disposal game on his belt. And could be close to 120 to finish the week. So there you have it, guys. A quick roundup of round 6 scores and a little preview of what's to come of round 7. I'll be calling it tonight and Friday and Saturday and a few games on Sunday. So please like and subscribe and follow me during the games. Going to be calling it from a fantasy perspective. And should be a good one tonight. Sydney versus the Dogs. Yes, thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Follow me on socials. And please play some Game Day Squad. Use the code word MONSTAR to get some free packs. And join me in a new way to play fantasy. So join me tonight, guys. And I'll see you next week as well in some videos. Until then, take it easy.